Hello everybody, today is day 51 of reading Bill Clinton, My Life. My name is, 51. My name is Tiến and this is my older brother Trung. If you haven't read with us so far, we're going to do rock, paper, scissors, or who reads first. Excuse me. A couple of days after Lee Williams' call, I was packed and ready to drive back to Washington in a gift. Since my new job required me
There's no required A to get to. Just required to.
Required to get to Capitol Hill every day. Mother and Daddy gave me their old car, a 3-year-old white convertible Buick Subway with a white and red leather interior. Daddy got a new car every 3 years or so and turned the old one into be sold. On the used car lot. This time I replaced only 7 or 8 miles to the gallon. Gas was cheap, dropping under 30 cents per gallon when there was a gas war on.
On my first Monday back in Washington, as instructed, I presented myself in Senator Fulbright's office, the first office on the left, in what was then called the new Senate office building, now the Dirksen building. Like the old Senate office building across the street, it is a grand marble. It is a grand marble edifice, but much brighter. I had a good talk with Lee, then was taken upstairs to the 4th floor, where the Foreign Relations Committee had its offices and hearing room. The committee also had a much grander space in the Capitol building, where the Chief of Staff, Carl Marcy, and a few of the Senator staff worked. There was also a beautiful conference room where the committee could meet privately. Read.
When I arrived to the committee office, I met Buddy Kendrick, the documents clerk, who would be my supervisor fellow.
Remember the comma. You just skip the comma, okay? With a pause.
Who would be my supervisor, fellow storyteller, and assistant.
And provider.
Huh?
You skipped a line.
And provider of homespun advice over the next 2 years. But
June, if slime's distracting you, put it back in the bag.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta find out. Buddy's full-time assistant, Bertie Bowman, Bertie Bowman, Bowman, a kind, big-hearted African American who moonlighted as a cab driver and also drove Senator for White on occasion. And my two student counterparts, Phil Dozner from Arkansas and Charlie Parks, a law student from Anniston, Alabama.
I was told I would be taking memos and other materials back and forth between the Capitol and Senator Fulbright's office, including confidential material for which I would have to receive proper government clearance. Beyond that, I would do whatever was required, from reading newspapers and clipping important articles for the staff and interested senators to answering requests for speeches and other materials, to adding names to the committee's mailing list. Keep in mind that this was before computers and email, even before modern copying machines. Though while I was there, we did graduate from copies and made on carbon paper while typing or writing to rudimentary Xerox copies. Most of the newspaper articles I clipped were never copied. They were simply put into a big folder every day with a routine sheet that had the names of the committee staff from the chairman on down. Each person would receive and review them, check off his or her name on the sheet, and pass them along. The main mailing lists were kept in the basement. Each name and address was typed into a small metal plate. Then the plates were stored in alphabetical order in file cabinets. When we sent a mailing out, the plates were put into a machine that inked them and stamped the imprints on envelopes as they passed through. Yeah. You're saying?
Yeah. Okay. I enjoyed going to the basement to type new names and addresses on plates. Wait, I don't put that. No, get on. And plates, and put them in file drawers. Since I was always exhausted, I often took a nap down there. Sometimes just leaning against a file cabinet, and I really loved reading the newspaper and clipping articles for the staff to read. For nearly 2 years, every day I read the New York Times, the Washington Post, the now defunct Washington Star, the Wall Street Journal, the the St. Louis Post Dispatch, the last, because it was through the committee should see at least one good Heartland newspaper. When George Bundy was president, President Kennedy's national security advisor, he remarked that any citizen. That's what I said.
You said citizen.
Citizen. That I
There-
said.
there we go.
Say again, Australia. I listen to Trung slowly. Maybe you tell louder so can hear them better for you, son. Okay.
He remarked that any citizen who read 6 good newspapers a day would know as much as he did. I don't know about that, but after I did what he recommended for 16 months, I did know enough to survive my Rhodes Scholarship interview, and if travel
Trivial.
Can I try? Let me try one.
Try, don't hurry, don't put Tiến. Tiến rồi asking that you sit back to Tiến, okay? Let Tiến try.
Trivial. Oh yeah.
And the trivial.
And I know, just seeing how it works. I see. Let me have time.
Yeah, Trung.
And if Trivial Pursuit had been around back then, I might have been national champion.
National.
It's more?
Yeah, it's been long.
One more.
It's been 13 minutes.
Yes, Trung.
One more.
Today weekend.
One more
paragraph.
paragraph.
Let's go.
One more paragraph. Come on.
Keep going, finish it way until here. Hurry.
We also handled requests for documents. The committee produced a lot of them. Reports of foreign trips, expert testimony in hearings, and full hearing transcripts. The deeper we got into Vietnam, the more Senator Fulbright and his allies tried to use the hearing process to educate Americans about the complexities of life and politics in North and South Vietnam, the rest of Southeast Asia, and China.
Yep, that's going to be all for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye!